The word lesbian is derived from the name of the Greek island of Lesbos, home of the poet Sappho. Before the mid-19th century, the word lesbian referred to any derivative or aspect of Lesbos, including a type of wine. Today, the word lesbian means a woman attracted by another their own gender. A 2008 study of 390 gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender (JLBT) Victorians found that nearly 1 in 7 reported living in fear of homophobic violence. This fear was justified in that nearly 85% of respondents had been subjected to some form of homophobic violence or harassment in their lifetimes, and 1 in 2 had experienced homophobic harassment or other non-physical abuse in the past 2 years. In 85% of cases, violence and harassment were preceded or accompanied by homophobic language. Sexual assault was also common, with nearly 5% having been subjected to this form of violence over the last 2 years. Among same-sex attracted young people, violence and discrimination were also common. A 2010 study of 3,134 young Australians found that 61% had suffered verbal abuse because of their sexuality. During the realization of the project, we also submitted a small questionnaire to third-year students. In the questionnaire, there were several questions related to different sexual orientations. To the question, you know what the term lesbian means, 90% of the students answered yes, while the remaining 10% answered no. Furthermore, the percentile of the students who did not know the term was 75% for girls and 25% for boys.
Initially, the term gay was used to define with the adjective gayus a cheerful person who brought joy. Since 1920 in the USA, the name gay has been associated as a sexual orientation about men attracted to their own gender. The rights of gays had a huge progress over the past few centuries. Indeed, some laws of protection against gays have been abolished in many countries, but in others, being gay is still a crime punished with the imprisonment or prison, with bodily pains like whipping, stoning, or even death penalty. In countries like Bangladesh, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Mauritania, even gay marriage is a subject that is still very controversial and a little upset. In the world, there are about 20 countries in which it is legal, of which 13 in Europe. On the contrary, in other countries, it is either illegal or the countries had not provide any kind of protection.
A bisexual person is the one who is attracted to the people of both genders. According to a questionnaire that we made in the class 3rd A in the secondary school PIVA, more than the 80% of the class think that it's only a phase, but the truth is that it's a real sexual orientation. Unfortunately, bisexual people are targeted by hetero and gay or lesbians. Many think that a bisexual person isn't loyal and is more inclined to betray because of their physical attraction, forgetting their feelings and romantic attraction. I think that everyone should have the possibility and the right to love and choose the person which will live and spend the rest of his life.
Transgender are those who are born with a sex but who feel themselves in the role of the opposite, so they undergo surgery to change gender. Usually they'll call trans. We think that transgender have the same rights as every human in the world, but we don't know that the big heads don't care about all the campaigns against bullying. Obama said in the 2016 that transgender students can decide in which toilet or locker room go based on their sexual orientation. Today it's not possible anymore because Donald Trump said that transgender students have to go to the toilet of their birth sex. The Human Rights Campaign that legalized the gay engagement defines this decision shameful. He told also that transgender people can enlist to the army, but after the Pentagon told with Trump, he decided that the people who were enlisted before could stay. And New York instead, the third gender has been created because from January in the ID you will be able to choose between male, female, and gender X. We asked to the third day what they thought about what Donald Trump said, and the 89% of the class told he was wrong, but the other 11% told he was right because if a student was of their opposite gender, it will be embarrassing to take the clothes off.
Intersexuality is a phenomenon that manifests itself as a coexistence in the same individual of more or less intermediate male and female characters. During development, there is an inversion for which the individual who has begun to develop as a male continues its development in the female sex. The causes of their characteristic can be various. One person can burn or become intersexual according to the chromosomal or hormonal level. Intersexual people should be protected from violation of their civil and human rights. This violation of rights occurs both in medical and social fields. In medical field, people have the rights to fully informed consent to their physical integrity, and also to be informed care about the result of their medical research. On a social level, people have the rights to be fully accepted in society, regardless of their changes in their body. Anti-discrimination laws generally do not prohibit discrimination against intersex people, leaving them vulnerable to discriminatory practice in the range of situations, including access to health service, education, public service, work and sport.